Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the A60 show. I'll be your host, A60. We have another good one coming on today. She is, I call her part of the alumni crew because she helped start actually A60. Played in the first A60 co-ed softball game, which was she recruited everybody in the park. We're going to talk about that. She actually lost that game to our other sister, Renee Washington. We're gonna get into that too. It was a fun game, but a family friend, mentor to the program, mentor to the A60 program, doing amazing things back home. And we're gonna tap into a lot of different things, not just softball. We're gonna talk about life. I think it's time for us to really get on our mental awareness, our mental health, and just life and well-being. And before I introduce her, let's talk about saying what's up to a few people. Shout out to Kamara Jackson, Al Watson, Elite Learners family who support me heavily when I'm back at home and even when I'm not at home. Uh, if you're looking for t-shirts, uniforms, bags, you got to hit up my guy Uncle with JC1 Printing. He does everything you need. He does all the A60 shirts. This is actually original by my boy Alex Aaron. He did the original A60 shirts. This is one of them. I still have the A60 apparel that's out there, the hoodies and the t-shirts. So if you're interested, just hit me in my DM or hit me in my link, and I'll make sure everybody is well taken care of. Um, Shout out to my guy Dagger and Heather out there with the Queens Defenders. They're doing great things with their basketball program. Salute to them. Just wanted to say what's up to them. And of course, I got to give salute to my family that's coming back this spring and summer, my Texas Rebels family. We coming right back. We still actually going to play in a tournament this weekend. We're going to be at the MAC. We're going to get our game on. We're going to do our thing. We're going to have us some fun. And if you're not doing anything, you want to come watch some good basketball, come watch a couple of these young men do their thing. My son Trey is playing, and I got a nephew should be playing this weekend, Q, and I got a couple of other kids that's playing JV and varsity. And I just want to get the kids together outside of school basketball. Just go have a little fun, just play around. So just want to give a shout out. Got to give a shout out to my Lot Lizard family. We fighting for that championship next Tuesday. Shout out to Mike Lewis. You know, my guys over there, Sean, and my whole team. We actually doing some breast cancer awareness T-shirt jerseys. Be on the lookout for that. Uncle just tapped in. My boy JC1 Printing is in the building. Marv just tapped in. Miss Sutton is in the building. I see you. Giving you a shout out. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you. Um, Man, it's a lot going on. I know a lot of people has hit me up after the interview last night. You know, like, where you been, Al? What's been going on? You know, I had to take a mental break. You know, for myself, I had to get myself together. You know, go to the doctor, get checkups. Um, you know, a lot was going on with me personally, and that's why I'm so excited about this interview because we're going to tap into that side that a lot of people don't see in me, and we're gonna dig into the crates, as they say. We're gonna dig into them crates, and but I had to take some time. I had to take some time for me. I want to make sure I always keep giving great content, and it started with Jake yesterday, and the one we're gonna do today is gonna be another great show. So I'm looking forward to it. But without further ado, we're gonna bring in, I said, one of the original alumni ladies to A60. And I want to give her a special shout out because she's always doing amazing things. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm thankful that she's a part of the A60 family. So without saying too much, let's bring in Miss Regina Lashley.
Well,
What's up, Miss?
hello. What's up?
What's going on?
Nothing much. Just life is life, and then
Yeah, that's true. That is true. How's,
yes,
how's life on your side?
life is coming together. There's a lot of things that I'm doing, a lot of things that we're working on, and I know this is that platform for softball and all that stuff, but
Uh,
it's more than softball for me. Much
oh,
more.
it's always more than softball, but a lot of people will look at it differently than we do. And like I told you, we're going to do more. So
Absolutely.
that's why I wanted to get you on. I wanted to, see how we can bridge that gap to talk about more than just softball because there's a lot that needs to be talked about, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let everybody
Ab-
know originally where you're from.
Well, originally I am from New York, but I grew up in the South, and I spent most of my time, hanging in the Brooklyn area like everybody else and in Queens.
Uh-huh.
And now I still live in New York, and
Right.
been doing a lot of movement with some of the organizations that I have been a part of. I'm a
Right.
um I am a qualified mental health professional in the
Okay.
social service field, and I deal with a lot of the youth as well as the adult population of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really has gotten me started because my passion is empowering women. And I've been doing that for the last, over the last 10, 15 years, empowering women. And that's been that's been my passion. Doing a lot of different women's events and hosting my girlfriend's breakfast, just a lot of things where women come together to be able to, you know, speak out in a non-judgmental space.
Right. How,
And
how did
so,
you get into that? How did you get into that? Like, was that something you always wanted to do, or it was something you just stumbled on? Like, because a lot of people, we have plans and we have goals to what we want to do, and I think that's interesting that you're doing something like this. But how did you get involved to want to do this?
well, coming from a social service field background, put it like that, and always supporting people and enjoying working with people, I think when it came to the women, I myself was going through my own struggles in life
Mm-hmm.
and felt that, sometimes we needed someone to talk to, and we don't do that enough. We
Hmm.
as women and we as men, we have a tendency to sit back and not say anything and hold everything in. And so I wanted to create a platform for women to be able to, voice their express themselves.
Hmm.
So, and in that process, we was doing it in person. And then when the pandemic hit, we had to do it virtually. So now we're doing it virtually and in person. So
Right.
we women get together to have tea parties. We get to do a lot of different things together.
Right.
And it's been amazing. And my biggest organization, biggest group that I've started is W2E, which is called
Hmm.
Waiting to Exhale.
Okay.
And we as women get to exhale. And Waiting to Exhale has been like a major part of my life. My business partner, I think she probably came on. Her name is Kim Walden. She's out of
Okay.
Florida. And
Kim is
together we do in-person and virtual workshops where we are all about transformation, all about helping women to unleash their mask and
hmm
allow them to speak out in a non-judgmental space of love,
hmm
of abundance.
hmm
Um, and it's been, when I say it has been amazing, it has been truly amazing. And we now have a WhatsApp page where we have over 60 to 70 women coming together and spiritually making comments, coming together as a whole. And it's been amazing. When I say amazing, amazing. And women from all over. We got women that's coming from Nigeria, women from Ghana, women from Florida, Washington, Virginia, all over. And through this process of waiting to exhale, we're getting ready to launch our Girls Igniting Change in Atlanta, Georgia on March 1st.
Okay. Okay. Let me get in here and first of all, shout out to my other queen. Renee is on here. She said, "What's up, G?"
Hi,
And Kim,
Nay.
salute to you, Kim, all the way out in Florida. Appreciate you for joining. For a lot of men who don't know about the Wait and Excel movement, and I'm just asking this question: is this one of these things where, because I'm a man that's on the outside, don't know. I just hear waiting to excel. Is this a men bashing type movement? And I'm just asking that question because some people will
Absolutely.
think that when you bunch of women get together, that that's what's going on. So I'm asking you, tell me about this thing that you got going on with the women.
So,
Like how this?
so to answer your question, absolutely not. Waiting to excel, we don't even talk about men.
Okay.
It's not about bashing anybody. It's about bringing women together. And what we do is we make spiritual comments, not only just spiritual comments, we just come together for women to be able to just tell us what's going on in their life, whether it's everyday living with dealing with the kids, dealing with the husband, dealing with work, dealing with their own careers. It's about their insides. It has nothing to do with men at all.
Mhm.
And it's so funny that you say that because hey, there should be a men's group waiting to exhale
I
because
agree.
we as men, we as women and as men have a tendency to hold stuff in and not release it. And it's just everyday life.
Right.
Um like we had this group and we had someone come on and the woman said to me, she said, at the moment that you invited me to this group, I was contemplating committing suicide.
That's huge.
And I realized that I matter. And this is what that group does for the women. It allows them to look in the mirror and look in the mirror and say to themselves, I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I matter. And it doesn't, it just opens up a whole different sense of purpose, a different light. We all have our own mental health issues going on, and we set in anxiety, in our depression and things like that. And this is that type of group that allows you to be able to be open, and your story, somebody else may be going through that same story.
Mm. Is it for women to feel like this? And I'm only asking, is that because we as men are not giving them that opportunity to speak to the man openly? Or is it because, they just normally feel that way? Or are they not getting the right response from the man? Or, what are the reasons that women are feeling this way,
you know
in your opinion?
just honestly speaking, it's not because they might not be getting it from the man. It's just how you say, hormones are always moving. There's always things that's going on in life. Just dealing with everyday pressure. For instance, I'll speak on my behalf. I got to a point of feeling down and out because I too was struggling. I'm a survivor,
Hmm.
and I was struggling. I was struggling with feeling like I thought I was damaged goods. I thought that I just I had my own anxiety going on.
Hmm.
So when you struggle with health issues, you tend to, shut down, and you don't want anyone to worry about you. So you go at it
Hmm.
alone. And I had to realize that I wasn't alone.
Hmm.
And there were so many other people out there that wanted to be there for me,
Hmm.
but I wasn't ready to let them in.
Hmm.
So it's not about whether you're getting it from your partner, and you may be getting it, but it may not look the way that you want it to look. So you don't point fingers at anyone. It there's all types of reasons and whys that women and men. tend to shut down.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Where you and I can only speak for me that I do. I'm a loner, and even though it might not look that way, I am a loner. So when I say loner, meaning I'm the
Mhm.
one that I don't open up too easy. It takes a lot for me to open up, and the reason is because if I'm with you, I'm with you. I love hard. I like hard. I'm going to give you everything I got. But there's moments where I have to shut down. But then also the reason why I do what I do is because I didn't have that mom or dad conversation to be able to help me get through that process.
Okay.
You know, my big brothers, and you can contest to this, came from the park. You know, I was going to college and school because yeah, they was pushing me to do that. You know, so they were my big brothers.
Same here.
So when I say that was my outlet. That's what I had to deal with, and I still deal with it to today. Like I was just saying, you know, mental health is not having someone to talk to. A bunch of brothers. I have a couple of friends now that send me Bible scriptures. You know, let me know, you know, the importance that you are, even if you're not getting it from another person. Um, but I guess what I want to know is from your standpoint, is most of the things that the women go through and men as well, is this life experiences that reason why they can go into those mental health situations?
It's a number of reasons. Life is
Right.
always about life, and it could be career wise, it could be relationship wise. Don't let me say that. I'm not going to say that men sometimes don't
Okay.
play a role,
That's good.
or the because it depends on that person. It depends on who it is. So it could be a
Hmm.
relationship problem that leads them to break down. It could be a career problem that leads to break down. It could be a financial problem that leads them to break down. It could be their kids. It's life in itself. There's so many different reasons and so many factors that fall into place. Women and men tend to break down. And then it could be within yourself. So it varies. It's a whole bunch of reasons.
Right. Let me ask.
Everybody's different.
No, you. I agree with you a
For me,
thousand
it
percent.
was health. I broke down because I felt like I was like the strongest person in the world. I'm playing ball. I'm doing this. I'm eating. I think I'm eating right, and then I get hit with this this thing, and getting hit with that thing just was like I couldn't handle it. And I was like, oh man, I'm not telling nobody. I'm gonna handle this on my own. I'm gonna do this for me. And it just happens. So
Right.
when things hit you, you don't know how to handle it sometimes. But I, like you said, the park was my big brothers and big sisters, because let me tell you something. If it wasn't for the Desnick Jones, which is B, and the Renee
Hmm.
Washingtons and the Angie Hallises that kept me together, and
Hmm.
even like I said, my BFF, Al Watson. If it wasn't for them instilling certain things in my head and keeping me going, I don't know where I would have been.
Right.
I needed that world. And now as I get older, I have friends like the Kim Waldens and the Denise Pilgrims. I have them now that I that support is like is overwhelming.
Right. Do you, in your opinion, when they make the comment, you know, and we've all heard this, when a woman's broken, it's hard to repair her. But when a man is broken, it's hard to repair them. Do you think that a man and a woman can be repaired even if they're broken, in your opinion?
You know what? There's a song that's called Gracefully Broken.
Hmm.
And yes, we as women and we as men, we break down. We get broken. But you know what? It's all about believing in God and prayer that uplifts us. And I will never say never. Everyone can be uplifted and everybody can, I'm not saying everyone can be fixed. It's what
Hmm.
you choose to do. So just because you broken don't mean that you. I felt like I was broken, but I
Right.
picked
Yeah.
myself up.
Hmm. Hmm.
You get to choose, and you get to move forward in your own way. Nobody can tell you. So if you choose to lay down there and let the best get to you, that's on you.
How do men, and I'm speaking, for me, that go through the mental health issues, and when I say mental health, meaning not knowing how to talk to another brother or to, don't have that outlet. How do men reach for those outlets? Like, how do we? I know you can speak from the women perspective, but how can a man do that, do those things? Like because we need
God
outlets.
would,
Some of us don't have
as
it, and
God
we
would
don't do it.
say, as God would say, ask not, have not. You got to open your mouth and ask. I don't know what Al is going through if he
Right.
doesn't open his mouth. And if you ask, there's always somebody lurking around that may have an answer for you. I didn't know who to ask, but you know what? I opened my mouth. And once you open your mouth and you ask, you get the answers. Gotta
Mm,
ask. Ask not, have not.
I feel you. It's good. It's good. But I think some don't know how to ask, or when you're used to, again, being that loner, used to not, wanting to go out and bother people because that's what you feel like you're doing at times, like you bothering a person when you share your feelings with a person, and then they're well, and they just give you some other answer, and so it's harder. I can speak for myself. It's definitely harder for me to go out and speak and talk and share my emotions and feelings, which it shouldn't be because we play sports. We good job, great job. I love you, man. But then when you have that emotional attachment, it's like, man, I don't know how to open up and say this. So that's what I mean from a male perspective. It's like I don't know.
So for a woman's perspective, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna, like I said, I only can speak for me as a woman.
Right.
Um, I went through that, but what I when I did ask, what I realized is someone was waiting for me to say something because they were going through the same situation. And then I realized how many people were dealing with what I was dealing with.
Hmm.
And you don't know until, like I said, ask not, have not. And when I realized that, hey, there's some platforms out there, there's some resources out there, there's some places out there that deal with mental health, um, battling breast cancer, battling all types of stuff. It's just a matter of getting to know that stuff and being able to post it up. And that's what we, as in Waiting to Exhale, do.
Hmm.
We give them those resources. We're not there to talk about it. It's again a non-judgmental space. And what non-judgmental means is that we're not there to judge. Whatever you bring to the table, this is what we're discussing, whether it's even domestic violence, whether it's rape, whatever it is. That's what we're there to help them get through or even help ourselves get through. Because when you hear someone else's story, that's when you realize that you know what, hey, somebody is battling the same stuff that I'm battling.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's what we're here for. We're here to support, and I tell you, that's why I do what I do, because the women, I know for me, I need to exhale.
Hmm.
I need to release. I need to let it out because
Hmm.
when I was holding it in, that was what was making me more depressed.
Yeah. That I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But the more you suppress everything in here, it makes it harder. It brings you down. It's like it's just a whole bunch of weight on you. It's just sitting there.
Yes,
I agree with
yes.
that. I agree with that. Let everybody know about the great things you're doing in the community. I don't think a lot of our friends and family know. They see you posting every morning at 7 a.m., but I don't really think they know what you actually do in the community. So explain to them exactly what you be doing in the community.
So every for the last 9 years, um, I have been I read Psalms 91 each and every morning at between 7 and 10, and sometimes I'm a little late, but I read it every morning, and that's what uplifts me. That's what motivates me. That's what allows me to keep moving. And in that process, I give people, I give them some spiritual wording. I give them an update of what's going on. So besides doing that Psalms 91 every morning, and it's just, and I reach people all over.
Mhm,
I also run Waiting to Exhale, which is that what I talked about, where we have a WhatsApp group where we come together spiritually and doing things like that. I run a sock drive. I collect socks. They call me the sock lady. I collect socks and I give them out to the homeless. I go into the train stations and I give out little goodie bags, as
mhm,
well as I said, we're kicking off our Girls Igniting Change, which is a group of girls between the ages of, we're looking at between the ages of 9 to 19, where we
mhm,
have young ladies who, whether it's helping them to put on makeup, whether it's helping them to dress in in a way appropriately. And so these are the things that we've been doing. On top of that, I spend time with this program called Hope, where we go out and do the census of those that that are homeless.
mhm,
We give out blankets. We do a lot of different things. And so with all of our groups, we're doing a fundraiser right now. We're asking people to donate.
mhm,
Um, and the reason I do the socks is because everybody likes to give away clothes and all of that stuff. But what people fail to realize is that the socks, the your feet is the most vulnerable part of your body. And so when you cover up your feet, it helps with the heat penetrating into your body. And a lot of people don't realize that. I'm also a wellness coach. And as a wellness coach, I help people live a healthy and holistic lifestyle. And like I said, I started that because when I was diagnosed, I didn't know which way to turn. And someone introduced me to an oil called frankincense. And when they introduced it,
mm,
I was like, I ain't doing that. I ain't into no oils. But I can tell you, it has, it has since pretty much gave me a new light of living.
mhm,
And it has helped me move forward. As I started, I mean, I will say to you, I started off with picking my hair up off of my pillow,
mhm.
bald head. And now with using the oils and doing, different things, my body has not rejected anything. My body is moving in a different way, and I have hair now, and I'm excited.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that's working out for you. um, let everybody know about this book you got coming out. And I think you told us
My book, yes, I
you got
am.
a
It's called Let's
4-part
Eat.
series. Let's talk about that.
It's called Let's Eat, and it's a four-part series. The first part of the series is Breathe. The
Mhm,
second part is more self-love,
mhm,
love each other more. And the last part of the book is the world is yours.
mm. Okay.
And what it is that it talks about my life. It talks about me starting up from being a softball player, well, starting off as a track star.
Mm,
People say, "What's a fun fact?" My fun fact is I I won Colgate Women's Game 55-meter hurdles like 4 years in a row, which helped me pay for some of my school books in college.
Okay.
So
I ain't
that's my
jumping no
fun
hurdle.
fact.
I ain't jumping no hurdle. I might trip. I ain't got that much
Nope, I
balance.
jumped 55-meter hurdles, and I ran my first race at Madison Square Garden
Oh,
to win Colgate, and that was when Thompson was alive. And so in that, in my book, it talks about that. It talks about my life. It talks about my softball career. It talks about me as being a baseball mom and a baseball manager running the Spring Creek traveling program. It talks about all of those things and some of the kids that went off to the major leagues that I coached, that I started off with. One of them is Jose Quaz, which is cello. So Kevin Martyr. So those were that's what it talks about. And then it talks about, hey, let's talks about my relationships. And
when
you know, struggling,
mhm. You can
and
continue. You
moving
can go
forward
ahead.
in that. So it talks about all of those things. And I'm excited. I'm excited that it's and I sell the necklaces that say
Yeah.
breathe, love each other more.
Mhm.
And those are the necklaces that I only sell 4 necklaces, and they're stainless steel. And that is what that makes my book and my movement so different. I
Okay.
like to be different.
Okay. Well, when did
And
you
I have to say,
go ahead?
W2E does meet the third Thursday of every month virtually on a Zoom. And the
Okay.
next one coming up is November 21st, which is a Thursday night
We
at
got
8 p.m.
we got to make sure we get that out to everybody so they can know what's going on.
Yes,
We need women
yes.
out there that want to be a part of it, and we got to make sure we get that information out there.
Or you can always give them my number, inbox me. I'd be happy to put it out there, send them the link. I'll definitely send you the link so you can post it. And this is, like I said, every month on a Thursday night, 8 p.m. And we're just shoot, just like we're shooting conversations right now. That's what we're doing. We chop it up the same way. And it's all about getting people in the flow.
So when did you decide that you wanted to put this book out? Like, and then you made a series, so of course there's a lot of preparation and plan for it. So when did you started putting this plan together of doing the book?
I started this plan probably, I would say, maybe 4 years ago, but it just kept, you keep saying, I've always wanted to do a book, but I've always been afraid to talk about myself.
Mm.
And someone said to me, you have to make it happen. Nobody else can make it happen. And people need to hear your story. So I said, okay. So I have how you say, a ghostwriter that
Mhm.
is I'm working with. And that's what we're doing. We're putting it out. And then I go to a women's conference that's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's called I Am Woman. And at that conference, I realized one thing. A young lady said, Cherie Jackson said, you can write, you can do, you can say all of these things, but if you don't hit the send button, it'll never get published. So
Mm.
I'm on that world of I'm hitting the send button through my emails. I'm just hitting the send button. So if you notice, I have been posting and posting and posting and posting and posting.
Yeah, you're definitely out there. You post, you post, you post, you promote, you promote. But this is the first I'm hearing about the book because we talked about it earlier. Um,
Yes.
so that's interesting. I know a lot of people have approached me about doing something about my story, and I don't know, kind of took a back seat to it for now. But I definitely want to do it. I just have to
Hit,
take a back
hit the
seat.
send button.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been hitting the delete button every time I go to
That's
start
right.
hit the delete button. I don't hit the send button. But yeah, the book. I think that's going to be great. I think what you're doing in community is amazing. Um, don't somebody close to you have a clothing line?
Yes, my son. He does. He's
Okay.
been working on his clothing line. He's been putting it together, and he's doing his thing. It's just the process.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's a slow process.
Hmm.
So he's working on it. He's releasing it. He's doing it. And
What's
it's
the name of it?
um oh my God, I'm so bad.
Oh no.
It starts with
Don't do
an
that.
R, right?
Don't do that. He's gonna
Riazi,
he's
I got Riazion is his
okay.
clothing line.
I'm about to say
It's a
because he's
French
gonna
name.
kill you. He's gonna
You
kill
you
you.
throwing me, you're throwing things at me. It's everything coming at me
Yeah,
at
no,
once.
we're gonna go everywhere. I told you.
Yes, it's called Riazion. Reazione. Riazion.
Do we have a
And you
link?
can find him as Northside Ruga. Yes.
Yes, I do know him as that. Does he have a link or anywhere that people can reach out to him? You can put that in the chat at any given time, or you can put it on the
Okay.
page. Yeah, we definitely want to give him.
I'll send that to you
That's
because I know he was changing up some stuff, so I'll send all of that to you.
okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Now
Mhm.
we can get into this little softball world.
Oh, yeah. My
Now,
softball world.
what did you do first? Because you said you played hardball and softball. So which love came first? Because I know it's a different love. Or
Well,
is it the same? Let's
so
define that.
let
Is
me
it the
say this.
same?
Let me say this. Honestly speaking, basketball was my first love. I went on a
Okay.
full scholarship for a basketball scholarship when I
Okay.
went to college. But I had love for both of the games. But basketball was I was a point guard for Bayside High School. And
Mhm.
I was a shooting point guard. So that was my love. That was my how you say it, that was my money maker. And I got introduced to softball while I was in high school. And then I got reintroduced to softball after I went off to when I was. And it's so funny with the basketball. I'm going to go back a little bit. I was one of those that I was good at, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but I was good with my basketball. But one person used to tell me, "You don't have a left hand," and this man used to aggravate me. When I say aggravate me, he used to come to my games, and after the game, he used to, "Yo, if you had a left hand, you might be somebody." And it's so
Oh.
funny that I'm the guy that I'm gonna bring up. May he rest in peace. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to play the game the way that I play the game, and that was
Mhm.
sweet.
Oh wow.
He would come. He would come to my game, and I was like, "Yo, who is this guy? Leave me alone." But he kept instilling in me, telling me, "Yo, get a left hand," and I developed the left hand. I could shoot with my right, and I could shoot with my left because it was Sweets who said, "That's how you college."
Now I'm gonna ask you this question. Did you beat some boys one
Uh
on
oh,
one?
huh?
Did you beat some of the boys one on one?
Of course I did. Come on now. Of course I did. Listen. They had to come. They had to come.
Okay. Okay. So you had that game. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't losing to no woman. I'm telling you that right now. I wasn't going down. Mm-mm. Not happening.
You never listen. Never say never.
Never was not going down. That's one of them where you score like I'm throwing the ball away. Game over. Like we not gonna play no more. I'm done. Like, I'm done.
Yeah,
Like, we ain't playing no more. We ain't playing.
basketball was my first love, and then it was softball. And then when I was introduced to softball, it was my uncle introduced me to Chris Legree because Chris
Mm-hmm.
Legree used to play football for my
Mm-hmm.
uncle. And I used to be one of the I was a tomboy, I'm not gonna lie. I could throw a football and I was out there with them all the time. I was on the field. And
Mm-hmm.
Chris Legree asked, he says, "Yo, do you play softball?" I was like, yeah. but I'm not playing. I don't want to play, you know, in Brooklyn or Queens. I played for my school, but then my uncle's like, "Yeah, let's go," and they were at that time they were T's Angels, and so I went to T's Angels and started playing with T. And then, as we got older or as time was moving, T's Angels split up, and Chris decided to create his own team, and that team was Mo Better. So Mo
Mm.
Better was a girls' men's team.
Wow, I would have never known that. Like I never known that. That's
Yes,
good original. That's good original information right there. I did not know that Mo Better was a
Mo
girls team
Better
first.
was a girls' team before it was a men's team, and we had an amazing squad.
Really?
Um, Sharon, Chris's wife was on that team. Heavy, Chris's sister-in-law was on that team. We had a squad, and let me not say it would sit back. Oh, Mo Better, Mo Better. We had those colors first, and he had us together.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
that's a fact.
Listen,
If
that's a
nobody
little
knows,
knowledge. That's a little facts.
that's right.
I
So,
wanna I want to go back real quick and I want to touch on somebody that's special to both of us, Mr. T. He don't get the credit that he deserves for what he has done for a lot of the people in whether it be St. John's or Fast Pitch or Kingston. He's done a lot. And especially for me, if it wasn't for him, I know for a fact that I wouldn't be playing in Kingston or in St. John's. Nobody would have never known who I was if it wasn't for him. So I want to give Mr. T a special shout out and T's Angels. I wish I'd have been able to play on the guys team because I've heard that they was amazing. Um,
yes,
but just the opportunity to play with him and listen to his knowledge, and we still talk to this day.
yes,
So
so do I. Let
yeah,
me tell you
we
something.
talk.
Mr. T, since you're giving that shout out, Mr. T was an amazing man. And I will tell you something. He loved his girls. He made sure we was dressed properly. He made sure that anytime, and I was coming from Queens, and
Mhm.
anytime I came to the game, Mr. T made sure I got home. And another story, which no one was playing at the BRC. Remember when the BRC and Coney Island Joe's was across the street? And
Mhm.
I was in right center, and B was in left field, and my girl Cookie was at second base, and they used to tell me, "Yo, G, you're a drama queen sometimes," and it had to be 100 and some degrees out there. And I was saying to Cookie and I was saying to B, "Yo, I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna fall out. I'm really gonna fall out." And B kept telling me, "Shut up, G. Just play ball." And I think I don't know, we was playing the Rebels, I believe, or we was playing somebody. And that was when the sisters was around. I don't know who we was playing, but and then I said to Cookie, I said, "Cookie, I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna fall out." And and I said, "Tell Mr. T, I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna fall out." So Cookie was like, "Gee, shut up. You getting on my nerves. You're getting on my nerves." And by the time she said that, I literally did fall out. I fell out,
Oh,
and it was Mr. T who rushed me to Brookdale Hospital. And it was funny because I think one of the guys, preacher at the time, he was for the rebels, wanted to do mouth to mouth. And T said, you're not touching, you're not putting your mouth, you're not putting your mouth on. You know, Mr. T picked me up, and Mr. T had
yeah, I
that
can see him
car he
saying
had.
that.
Yo, he threw us in that car and he took me to Brookdale Hospital. He was like, "Preacher, you ain't touching her. You ain't putting your mouth on her."
I can see
But
him saying that, man.
yo, Mr. T is that's my heart. I
Yeah,
love Mr. T. He
that's
was an amazing man.
amazing, amazing, man. Yes, yes. Now I heard some of you girls can better than some of the guys. You know,
I
in
could
certain
agree.
positions. You can agree?
I could agree. Let me tell you something. I'm
Ooh.
not patting us on the back,
No,
but
no,
let me
no,
tell
no,
you
no.
something.
Listen, do it because these guys
Yes.
do it. You should do it
Okay,
too.
so let me tell you this. The girls, we were a beast. Renee Washington, Desnick Jones, Angela Hallisey. Yo, we were a beast. Judy, which was Jake's mom. Oh my
Yes.
God. She was a beast. We were a beast. Endangered. We had, let me tell you, it was those teams out there
Mhm.
were the girls were amazing. I was sliding on concrete. We didn't have a problem doing that. I said today's girls, they have no idea the game that we played. We gave 150%, not
Mhm.
100%. I was, and I think I stopped playing. That's why they call my son Mush. I was 9 months pregnant, and Jimmy had me sliding into home. And Beta was like, yeah, we used to just strap up because Jimmy used to tell us, yo,
Oh my
it is what
God.
it is. We slid on concrete. We played. We got it in. There was nothing holding us back. We girls played the game, and I tell you, it was truly amazing. To you had to. We the parks were always full to come see us play,
Mhm.
and the BRC was the place to be at that time.
Mhm.
And that fence easily easily girls was taking it out
Oh
easily,
my
even
God.
at St. John's Park they were taking it out.
Y'all tried to rekindle some of that flash in the A60 first reunion game. I got a little.
Y'all took my guys. Y'all took my guys.
Look,
You took my guys.
look, and then I tried to recreate it again for the next year. Everybody's like, "Nah, we ain't playing this year. We gonna sit out this
Listen,
year."
we only could go 2 innings. We only could go 2 innings. Y'all was trying to make us go 6 innings.
I know you was like, "Hold up, wait a minute, we going too long. No, let's get this over with."
Yeah, we tied. But
That
I
was
have
so
to
funny.
say, my declaration is that I am coming back to play next year. I'm
Uh
playing
oh,
out on Long Island. Yes.
going back out to play.
Yes. I have lost 28 pounds. I feel healthier than I've felt in a long time. And I gave up softball because my goal was to coach my son
Right.
and the inner city kids. And then after that I kept coaching, and then life happened, and then when I got diagnosed I was too weak to play.
Right.
But I have since recovered, and I'm in total remission, and I'm ready to just give it a shot. I may hit and sit, but I'm still ready to give it a shot.
Oh, definitely. I think you should definitely get back out there, have some fun, enjoy life.
Yes,
You only live once, and bring back that spirit of enjoyment, and then that sisterhood, being back out there on the field with the girls.
having
That
fun,
yeah,
having
sounds.
fun.
My next question is, mom, wife, girlfriend, how did you juggle doing all those things and work and play softball? I want to pat all you women that I've seen grow up in those parks, bring the kids to the park,
Yeah,
play the
yeah, we did.
game, give support, and act like nothing. Just go right back to nothing. I pat you on the back. I applaud you. How did you balance that? Like, how was that hard? Was that easy, or was it just normal?
Listen, it was. You had some good days, you had some bad days. You had some days where it was normal, but you know what? I will say this: we had a sisterhood because when we brought our kids to the park, you had one of the other girls watching, you had somebody feeding them, you had we were one thing I can say about the women, I can't speak for the men, the loyalty was real. The family connection was real. Even after the game was over and we went home, if we needed a babysitter, if we needed something, somebody was always there. So
Mm,
it life is not easy,
right,
but we made it easy. We were there for each other.
right.
And I can't tell you, it was just it was amazing.
Mm. It was definitely. I'm watching the kids come to the park, running around, and you guys are playing, and you're being so supportive to whoever you're with at the time. To me, that's amazing to join in and be a part of that. And you guys did that. I mean, I just remember my daughter being 6 months, 7 months years old, and I want to go play softball. I have to bring her with me, and I remember everybody else. I got her. Don't worry about it. You go play. I got her. You go play.
That's
So, like
correct.
you said, it was the park was a family. You can leave your kids anywhere in that park, and you know that they're going to be taken care of. And I
That is
think
true.
that's what's amazing about our park. And I think people take that. I don't like. I think a lot of people can take that for granted sometimes. That what that park meant to a lot of us. It
Yeah,
wasn't just us
because
softball.
right, because let me tell you, my son has such a good and he's playing ball now, but
Mhm.
he has such a camaraderie of aunts and uncles, and like the men that came to the park to watch us. First of all, they were stunned because they had never seen women play the way they were playing. But
Mm,
they were there for us. I mean, you had the Al Watsons, the Taps, the all of the Tony Cherries, the all of them that was there supporting us as ball players. They didn't treat us like, oh, with kid gloves. They treated us like, yo, we were one of them.
mhm,
And like I said, I played for Dave Goldstein. And I was just sitting at the park watching, and Dave was like, yo, I need another player.
mhm,
And so when I stepped up and played for him, it was like, oh, I'll see you next week. I see you the next week. So it was, so they treated us like we was equal at
mhm,
that time.
mhm. That's good. That's good. What were some of the teams out there? I know Tees Angels, Sisters, Brooklyn Rose. I'm sure it was more than just that.
There was the Rebels,
Rebels.
there was the Monterey's, there was there was um there was $1 million girls or something that there was some teams out there.
Mm,
And you know, it was an amazing to we played at Lindsay when Lindsay was a dirt field. We
mhm,
played at McCarran. We played all over. It was all about the enjoyment, the excitement. I mean, Saturday and Sunday was those days. We played up in Manhattan. We played. We gave it 110%. And you know what? One thing I can say that's different
the
from
comments. Renee said the comments.
the comments. Oh, yeah, there was the comments.
Mhm,
What was different for us, and now when you go to the park and you're getting ready to play a game, you're looking over your shoulder to see if you're gonna have enough. That wasn't
mm,
the thing
mhm,
with the girls. That was never the thing with us.
mhm,
We had more than enough. It was like you had to be at the park at 9 o'clock. The girls was there at 8 o'clock,
mhm,
ready to play, strapping on the whole 9 yards.
mhm. Do you
So,
think? Do you think once your generation stopped playing, that it wasn't another younger generation coming right behind y'all to carry that on? Is the reason why some of those girl teams failed out there, or why there's not enough girl teams out there, women teams, not girls.
you know what I will say. I think technology and all the other things got in the way, and now we had and the younger girls having babies and not being able to have that support like we had the support. um I have to give credit where credit is due, and Renee can vouch to this. My mother, Renee's mother, and B's mother were support systems. Even if we couldn't get our kids to a game, mom, or if we had to bring them, mom came along. we had a strong family foundation, and we had strong parents. I know my mom today is still strong. She's still there. She's still holding me up. She's still holding my, still going to
Mhm.
games. And on Christmas Day, she's going to be 80 years old.
Oh wow, it's a blessing. Yeah.
So, and she's moving like I'm moving.
She on, she going. She like, let's do it.
That's right.
That's what's up. So now this is the segment we called Around the Diamond. We talked about food, and we're gonna jump into this because we in the bottom of the seventh. We in the bottom of the seventh, and I need to know who you want on the field with you. You can either put yourself out there or you don't have to. But bottom of the seventh, you up by one. You gotta get this game over with. Who you got at first base?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this, and then I'll throw some
Here
names
got the
out there.
disclaimer.
But let me tell you something. Everybody, it's hard to say one. It's hard to put one person on the field because every the women that I played with,
Mhm.
I could take a player and put them anywhere on the field, and they made it happen. And
Fair.
so it's just like, and you know what? I'm gonna use my best friend. I'm gonna use B for example.
Mhm.
If I put her, I could put B at third base. I could put B at shortstop. I could put her at second. I could put her at pitching. I could then put her in the outfield, and she's gonna give me 100%, no doubt. And
Okay.
she was what you call an outfielder. She was the left fielder, the center fielder. She was the right, whatever. So it's hard to say. And another person, same person,
Mhm.
Renee. You could put Renee at first. You could put Renee at third. You could put Renee at second. You could put Renee anywhere on the field, and she was gonna make it happen. One of the things I will say is the women put 150%. They laid it out on the concrete. They laid it out on the dirt. They laid it out. There was nothing. I don't care where you put them. They were going to make the play.
Mhm. Gotcha.
Angie, she by far between Angie and Johanna, Angie and Johanna was the best shortstops I've seen for years. And then if I go back to the Rebels, and there was those cookies, those candies,
Mhm.
all of them, yo, they were ball players. Everybody who stepped on the field gave they put it on the line. The girls to our generation, you could put us anywhere. And we had coaches that knew that. Like the coach, let me tell you, I playing for T and playing for Jimmy and playing for them was like they gave us they made it happen for us. And you know what was funny? I heard them talking about Arthur Lee last night.
Yes. Yes. Rest in peace, Arthur Lee.
Arthur Lee's wife,
Mm.
and it was just these were the women that I played with. It was an honor to play with all of the women. And I will say this, it was an honor to watch the men at St. John's in Kingston because
Mm.
they made us just as well as we made them. So that, like you said, the Tony Cherries and the Ali's and the Lenny Benjamins, those guys, they made us. And you know what? They didn't mind coming to watch us play, just like we didn't mind going to watch them play. And that's what made Kingston and St. John's such a family oriented space, a space of comfortability. And there was no, I mean, yeah, there was arguing here, but there was like, you didn't see much fighting. They came to play ball.
Mm.
And I like I said, I can't just say there was one person. Like Deidre, for instance. Dee Dee was the girl. Dee Dee was a beast. She played for the Monterey's. And it was you know, because I could, if I had to put a Betha, for instance, if I had to put somebody at first base, it would be 10 girls standing there. If I had to put it in any space, you'd have a lineup of 10 people there, 10 people there, here, 10 people. It was just that. The girls
Oh,
gave it all. And everybody sits back and says, and some people don't know some of the ball players that were out there. The reason I got to play, not only because of Chris Legree, but
right.
I was on the basketball court with one girl, and I hope forever. And she was the one like, "Yo, you got to come to Brooklyn. You got to come to Brooklyn," because we were playing. We were actually playing at Los Battalion together, and
Mhm.
then we went on and played River River. I think it was Riverside Park, or
Riverside
we played
in
out
Harlem.
there. We played. The two of us played for the Gauchos, and her name was
Oh.
Ice, and she played first base.
Mhm.
She was a freaking beast.
Mhm.
If Renee is listening, I know she know who Ice was. Ice, she was a gentle soul, but she was a beast, and she played with me on Tease Angels, and
Okay.
she's the one that truly got me to come out to the BRC, and I was already playing basketball.
Mm.
And
Okay.
so that was, she was amazing. So eh, it 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 it, it was it was everybody. It was everybody that I I couldn't say I didn't want anybody on my team. I would have
Right.
won all the girls that played out at in the parks at any given time. If they were on the team with us, we were giving it 110%. We were winning that game. So we could have been in with one out. I knew once we stepped on the field, we was gonna hold them down. And I was real
Hmm.
quick. We were
Hmm.
playing
Go
at
ahead. Take your
Skillman.
time.
We were playing at
Okay.
Skillman Park, and Renee was on that team. We it was the Brooklyn Rose at the time. Angie was on that team. Yo, and it was you played under the lights. And we went out there first time ever, and we probably, I'm almost sure we was the only black team out there. We went out there, and it was 8 other teams out there, and we ran through the league. We won the league. I mean, it was like hands down. And you had those old men on the side. They were betting against us and stuff,
Hmm.
betting for us and stuff. And so we the next year when we went back out to join the league, the guy told us, oh, we couldn't join the league because it was already, the league was full. And I don't know if you know Rob Hallisey, which is Angela Hallisey's husband.
Rob was
But
my
Rob,
gym teacher.
okay, Rob Hallisey, he's a white boy. Let's just get it. Let's just get it. So
Yeah.
Rob, he said to Rob, we need you to call, put a team in. And Rob said, no doubt. So Rob called the guy at Skillman, said he had a team, blah, 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 blah. And this was after they told us we couldn't go back in. So
Right.
Rob called the guy and told him, he said, I got my money. This is the name of a team. He gave some white name. I don't know, Rob. But he gave the name. The guy said, yo, y'all are in. So it was funny because Rob calls us back and says, yo, our game is Tuesday night, blah, 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 blah. We was like, okay, cool. So what we did was Tuesday night when we had to play, the game was at 8 o'clock. We all rolled up together. We met somewhere else. We all rolled up together, and at 8 o'clock, we all jumped out the car. If you could see the faces on those people's face, if you could see that their face, they were like so mad because now we in the league and this is the team. So they
Hmm.
can't take us out. So it
No.
was all about it was all about racism.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
we went to Yankee Stadium. You remember the Jose Cuervo?
Yeah.
And we beat the one team that we used to battle with at Skillman. We beat the shit out of them. So they weren't happy with that, and we won the Jose Cuervo tournament.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they wasn't happy about that. You beating them
At
in their
Yankee
own league.
Stadium, it was nice.
Mhm. From a fan's perspective, you watched a lot of games in Kingston. You watched a lot of games in St. John's. In your eyes, what park you in your eyes what park you think was more competitive, or if they both was the same?
It was a different pitch.
Yes.
So being that it was a different pitch, I'm gonna tell you, I fell, and I guess it's because it was my name. I fell in love with Regina's. That St. John's was a beast of another color.
Mm,
And that's where everyone started, at St. John.
mm,
So Kingston, built this reputation, but Kingston wasn't before St. John.
mm,
Everybody went to it started in, to be honest, it was Red Hook.
mm.
And then St. John's was the place to be. I mean, you had the tribes, you had USA, you had Excalibur, you had all these amazing teams. You had the Renegades. You had all these teams that
Heard.
were like they were powerful. So that's where it started. So if I had to, I loved coming to St. John's. And let me tell you something. My uncle Cool, used to have
Cool.
me coming in the park, and we would get there at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and didn't leave to 8, 9 o'clock. That was the place to be. And then Kingston builds up its reputation because they decided that they're not going to go with the high arc, they're going to go with the straight and fast. So being that they both were very competitive, but it was a
Mhm.
different type of pitching. It was a different way of playing because let me tell you, I used to love to watch Dennis take the freaking ball to the next generation. They're still looking for his ball.
Big
They
D.
still looking for Dennis's ball. And and you ask if I'm in the bottom of the seventh and we're winning by one run, Dennis is one person that I don't want to hit the ball because he's taking it out.
Big D.
So,
He was a
you know,
great
so
basketball player too.
so that's where we see that it's two different pitches, two different. It was the level of game playing. They all were great, but it
Mhm.
was it was two different ways of playing.
You
And
think? I mean, from your perspective, do you think St. John's had bigger money games than Kingston, or Kingston had bigger money games? Because I've heard both. I've heard both from St. John's and Kingston, but I mean, I've never been a part of the money games. But I just wanted to know if they were, which park had the bigger
listen,
money
wherever
games.
Jimmy was at, that had the big money.
Ah, okay, Jimmy was the money guy.
if, he,
Okay,
if Jimmy came to St. John's, then that was a big money game. It was a big money game. Because I'm going to tell you, Jimmy used to tell us, you girls, and he didn't say you girls, I won't even use the word he used, but Jimmy used to tell us, go out there and win this motherfucking game because I got all my money on y'all. So
Mr.
wherever
Jimmy,
Jimmy was
Mr.
at,
Jimmy.
there was the money. And
Yeah,
Fatty too. If Fatty was in St. John's, yeah, that's
Daddy,
that's where the money was at.
another
So let, let,
legend.
let's let's keep it real. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Every park had money games. It was the people. So if Jimmy was in St. John's, that's where the money was. If Fatty was in St. John's, that's where the money was. If they went to Kingston, that's where the money was. And
That's
I
interesting.
love them both.
Yeah, that's interesting. You said that Jimmy was the money guy, and I heard that about Jimmy, but I also heard that about Donnie from Wild Bunch. I heard that he was one of the big money guys out there in
Yeah,
Kingston.
Wild
Um,
Bunch too. But you know
and,
what? the money games. If you're saying Kingston and St. John's,
Right.
I'm gonna say this: the money games really was at Gershwin.
Renee said the money games were big in St. John's first, then moved to Kingston.
Well, Kingston was second after,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Right.
it actually started in Gershwin. That's where the
Oh.
money games were at.
Mhm,
Gershwin was the park to be in.
mhm. Let me ask you this question. Um, do you think women's softball get credit that it deserves?
When now,
Just in general, because they don't talk about it as much as they will talk about men. But you guys were playing just as competitive as us. Like right now, I'm out here and I see a lot of women teams and very competitive, you know, and but they don't talk about it. But they'll always talk
well,
about.
you know what? That's the taboo. That's the same thing with women's basketball. Listen, look at the WNBA. Whereas you have players that are making 25,000 in the women's WNBA, but you got men that's making 200,000. So it's always been lopsided.
Mm,
That's always, whether it's softball, whether it's basketball, women's sports is not highlighted like men's sports,
mhm, mhm,
and that's just the given. I mean, at one time, and I was a part of it for baseball when women we tried to put a baseball league together, the New Jersey Jams, and
mhm.
it just I tried out and it just didn't go.
Wow. Okay.
It didn't go at all because nobody wanted to invest.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's keep it real. Men's sports
Right.
is totally different. And when, like I said, although I had a full scholarship, I had to fight for a full scholarship because then I had to cite it off with playing softball. So men's sport, you could get a full ride, but women's sport, you can only get half for baseball. I mean, half for softball and half for basketball.
Right.
You had to play the dual sport to be able to not have to pay for college. But men, hey, they get a full basketball ride, they get a full baseball ride, they get a full soccer ride. So
Mm,
it's not a comparison. It
right.
really isn't. Women's sports is not highlighted like men's sports are.
No, I totally understand that, and I just wanted to put shine on it because I think it deserves to. I think what you guys have done for the game and how you competed for the game should be recognized, And then I just feel like that's why I asked the question: do you feel like you get slighted some way that it's not talked about or appreciated enough? And it's appreciated in the circles because we've seen, But I think outside of the circles, it doesn't get talked up about. Like Jake brought up a great point yesterday, saying, a lot of respect to you, the women, for doing what you did while we were out here playing. You was doing what you had to do, and then you were playing. So it was a different ball game.
You want me to tell you, I think was the highlight of softball for some us women in Brooklyn,
Hmm.
and I'll speak for me, and I can't speak for no one else. It was nice to come to a game and damn near all of the men that were hanging out in Kingston and St. John's was in the park. That
Wow.
was an honor. It was an honor that they gave us that respect. It was an honor to have a player like an Al Watson or or Barry Madison, um, all of them come out and just see us play. It was that was our highlight. I enjoyed coming to watch the game because I knew that these guys, Tap and all of them, and Vinny and all of them, would be out there watching us play and recognizing us. That was our that was big for us.
Right. Mhm.
So and it was huge for us.
Right. let me ask you this: You've seen a lot, you've done a lot. What makes you a Hall of Famer?
What makes me a Hall of Famer?
Because I've heard that been thrown out, that that's what type of person you are as a player. So I want to ask you, what makes you a Hall of Famer?
What makes me a Hall of Famer? Leadership,
Mm,
commitment, dedication, trusting the game, trusting my team, and being a team player, the respect that we get from everybody, and the respect that we was given to everybody. So, and a Hall of Famer, I would say, would be everything that I did on the field.
right.
That I would say that.
Well said. Well said. Now, if a person was trying to get in there, getting to the Hall of Fame, what type of criterias should a person look at? Is it the ones you just put out, or should there be some other criteria? Because pitch, park, how you carried yourself, like what type of credentials or criteria you would need to get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, it definitely would be some of the things that I did say.
Mm,
Will be the way you carried yourself, your humbleness, your you just, it's just and what you think of yourself as well as what others think of you. Um, and for me, I'm gonna say this, and I know it's probably a cliche. I truly believe that the women from the Brooklyn Rose sisters, we all was in our own way Hall of Famers. We might not have gotten the accolade for it, um, but we all were Hall of Famers in whatever aspect that we and so I just, like I said, all of the women gave, and I'm talking about in our era. Those women gave their all. They laid it on the concrete. I mean, sliding into second base and home plate, they did it all. So the women that I played with were Hall of Famers to me.
mm, okay. I gotta respect that opinion. I respect that answer, and it's always good to hear when you act. I think it's always good to hear what it takes to become that, because a lot of people throw that word out there. Oh, you're a Hall of Famer. You're a Hall of Famer. But then there's some things that don't meet up with that criteria that makes you a Hall of Famer, to get you into that get that plaque on the wall, get that picture on the wall. Um, and sometimes it's not always about what you do on the field. I think it's more about what you do off the field
That is
that gets
correct.
you in there. So um, talent can only get you so far, but that's just my opinion when it comes to that. Um, what are some other things you would like to cover, young lady? Because I know you do a lot and you got a lot going on. I want to circle back before we close out your book and everything else you got going on.
You know, I will say this. What I'd like to see, I said to you, I read Psalms 91 every morning, and
Mhm.
I've given out a challenge to many people. And wherever I go, I take 10 copies of Psalms 91 with me. If the world, and this is what I want to see. And we no one is promised tomorrow,
Right.
but from today, from now, my goal. what I'd like to see is I'd like for even everybody that's on this call to make 10 copies of Psalms 91. Read it for 10 days. Watch how their lives change. But take those 10 copies and give it to 10 people. And if we could start doing that and telling other people, okay, I'm giving you these copies, I'm giving you this copy. I want you to make 10 copies and give it to 10 people. And we keep that going, the world will be such a better place, because right now the world is in chaos from
Yes.
all of everything, from mental health, from the politics, from everything that's going on right now. If we could take Psalms 91, give it to 10 people, read it for 10 days, because if you read it for 10 days, you're not going to stop. And the reason I say that is because when the woman gave it to me 9 years ago, I was at the sauna, and an Indian woman gave it to me, and she said, "Listen, I see that you're going through something," and I was going through something. She says, "But I'm going to tell you something. I want you to read Psalms 91 for 10 days, and you watch how your life changes." So that was her words to me. And
Mhm.
I've been reading it for 9 years. Every day. Every day I've been reading it. And I have to tell you, my life has changed in so many different ways. I've had my
Mhm.
ups, I've had my downs. And like I said, through my health battle, who knew if I would be here? But I'm here. And acted, I'm 58 years old. In November 2059. And
Mhm.
I don't feel it, but I am. I
Mhm.
feel amazing. So I say to each and every one of you and anyone that's listening, make 10 copies of Psalms 91 and give it to 10 people. You ask them to give it and you read it for 10 days. And I can guarantee you, life will be a nice and a different place for you. And as for the men out there, let the women see your vulnerable side,
Mhm.
because you get to do that, because you also get to excel.
Right. That's good. I like that message. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, let's like and share this on Facebook. Let's subscribe to the YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with A60. Regina, talk about that book. Where can we get it? When is it coming out?
Well, I'm not hoping. It's going to hit the stands by
Okay.
March
Okay.
2025. And you'll be able to pre-order it as well. But if you're interested in getting one of the necklaces, and the necklaces is unisex, so don't think they're not. And they are it's 4 different necklaces. You can get them now,
Okay. How can we get it?
and they're only
How can they get
$30.
it?
You can inbox
Okay.
me. You can chop it up with A60, because he has my
Yes, I
number.
do.
And you can be out of town. I just sent one to someone that was at my business partner Kim to Florida. All you do is you pay for the shipping and handling on the on and it the shipping and handling that went to the young lady in Florida. It came up to $35.
Okay, because I like stainless steel. I like my silver, so I need something to freshen up with.
I love
Yeah.
silver too, but you know what? You're purchasing it for a good
Okay,
cause.
that sounds good to me. What's going on with the Wait and Excel? How can people get involved with that for a lot of the women that want to be out there? And do you have anything for men that you're working on? And if they do, who can we get in contact?
Well, yes, my business partner Kim and I was talking about doing a waiting to excel
Mhm.
for men and putting together a WhatsApp page. And I know it's 2 women doing it, so we would like a man to step in and support
Mhm.
us as well, because there are going to be some topics that y'all might want to talk about, and you might say, "Yo, gee, I don't want you on," and that's
Right.
okay. And that's fine. That day I'm not coming on WhatsApp. I want y'all to, because men need this. Men need to be able to excel. And a lot of y'all are not doing that. And like I work in they are men. Um I see it all day, young men having mental health breakdowns. And it's because they have no one to talk to. And so and they need that. So I'm not saying just because you're an older man that they can depend on you. You never know their story. You might have been there, or hey, their story may help your story or help you
Right.
move forward. So
Right.
we want to do a waiting to exhale for men. I am looking to do a men and women's conference here in New York, 1 day conference where men and women come together, and we have speakers. We have a lot of things going on. We talk about a little bit of everything. I did 8 years of the girlfriends breakfast, but during the pandemic things slowed down. I'm looking to
Mhm.
do another one. So we start virtual calls with Waiting to Excel,
Okay.
and every it's the third Thursday of the month, and we start at 8
Mhm.
p.m. sharp, and we only take an hour of your time. It's 1 hour, and we are very time.
Okay. Well, I want to put it out there now on the air. I would like to be a part of that men movement as far as the way it excels. So you let me know how I can be a part of it and how I can help in any way. I definitely want to be a part of that.
Okay, so what I again, it starts with putting the WhatsApp page together. So I will put a WhatsApp page together, and I will
Mhm.
invite you, and from there
Mhm.
we get to invite other men that
Okay.
who are interested in doing it and being a part of it. And let me say, it's a non-judgmental space. We don't come with we come with an open heart, and that's what we do. And that's where we're at.
Okay. All right.
And look for March 1st kickoff for our Girls Igniting Change in
Okay.
Atlanta, Georgia.
March 1st. March 1st. No men
March
can go to that,
1st.
right? No men, right? No men.
And y'all are welcome to join us. Hey, and it's
Just
because Girls Igniting Change, huh?
I was just asking. Just
But
asking.
you're
March
welcome
1st.
to join us.
Right.
It's in it. Listen, and not only that, you get to come to Atlanta, and you get to do what I did. Visit Martin Luther King's house, do
Oh,
all
that's
of
nice.
those, the museum, everything. There's so much to do, and we as a don't know our roots, and this is something that we all need to get to know. It was my first time. I've
Definitely.
been to Atlanta, Georgia, a million times. This year was my first time going to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house and going on the block where he lived.
What a church? Did you go to the church?
I went into the church. Well, I went to the church, and I went into the museum.
The
The
museum.
right next door is the museum, and I walked there, and I took. Oh, it was great. It was amazing.
Hmm. Yeah. It's a lot to do in Atlanta. I love Atlanta.
It is.
Love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Well, anything else you want to touch on before we close out?
Um, no, I just. Well, let me give you the W2E mission set to
Yeah.
you in the vision.
Yeah.
So our mission statement for W2E, which is called Waiting to Excel, is to inspire women to unleash their magic in a non-judgmental space of love, vulnerability, abundance, and peace through freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And our vision is creating abundance, transformation, breakthrough, and allowing them and doing that through vulnerability, love, and connection. And we don't connect enough. So we as women and we as men need to connect with each other. So
Mhm.
by doing that, you get to share Psalms 91 with 10 people and make some type of connection, whether it's with one person or all 10 people. And they should not always be somebody you know. Strangers are in the midst.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much for doing this show. As again, this is part two. We did part one before, but this is part two. And when
Yes,
you actually get ready to release the book, I definitely want you to come back on so we can do the pre-release here and let everybody know where they can get them, so we can run those numbers up for you. You know,
yes.
I want to do that. Definitely want to support you any way I possibly can. But more importantly, I just want to thank you for your being open, and being honest, and just always being supportive to me when doing the events that I do, coming to New York. Always just being there and being genuine, because that's a key word that a lot of people don't use enough. But being genuine is something that be tossed around, and you've always been that way from day one. So I just want to say thank you for always being a part of my A60 family, and thank you for always supporting me, and I really appreciate it.
I was honored. You make it so easy.
That's how it's supposed to be. Simple.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Regina Lashley, if you need to get in contact with her, you can either DM her, she's on Facebook, or you can hit me up on my Facebook, or you can just comment on this on Facebook or on the YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with A60, if you need to get any information for any and everything we talked about today on the show. And I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Miss Regina, you have a great night,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
we'll
Have a
talk
great
later.
night, everyone. And I should see you in the morning on my Facebook Live.
I'll be on there. It'll be 6 in the morning, but I'll see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the A60 show. I would like for everybody to go like and share this on Facebook if you are on Facebook. If you want to see the show again, you can go to my Facebook page, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with A60. Tune in. You get to see all the old interviews. You'll see a lot of the new interviews that we're coming up with, a lot of great content, and you can subscribe. I just want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in, everybody that comment. I appreciate you. We got a lot of things coming that's going to be up. And like I told her, I definitely want to be a part of that, the men's mentorship as well as the men's mental health, because we do need outlets, and we all need someone to talk to, whether it's for a short amount of time. We do not know what we all are going through, but if we can help and aid within 5 to 10 minutes of time, and it don't even got to be through sports, but just have a friendly conversation, and that's something that I want to be a part of, because I definitely need an outlet at times, and that's why I have this A60 show. That's why I'm coming back to do more of these A60 shows. And this is my outlet, to talk to my friends and talk to my family. So, once again, thank everybody for tuning in. Look forward to seeing everybody on the next A60 show. Everybody continue to be